Welcome to today's video on de-risking your retirement portfolio by using tax-free exchanges to target date funds. First, we will set the stage for why risk management matters as you approach midlife and retirement. Then, we will bust a common myth about taxes and penalties when reallocating inside tax-advantaged accounts. Next, we will show you a step-by-step process to exchange your current fund into a target date fund. Finally, we will wrap with key takeaways and a short quiz to check your understanding. Here is our roadmap. First, why to de-risk as retirement nears. Second, the concept of sequence of returns risk. Third, we will debunk the myth that exchanges inside tax-advantaged accounts trigger taxes or penalties. Then, we will provide step-by-step instructions to exchange into a target date fund. After that, we will compare TDFs versus do-it-yourself rebalancing. Next, we will cover costs, caveats, and glide paths. Finally, we will reinforce learning with quick quizzes. As you approach retirement, volatility becomes more damaging because you have fewer years to recover. Therefore, a diversified, auto-adjusting approach can reduce the negative impact of poorly timed market downturns. In other words, rebalancing and de-risking become more important over time. Sequence of returns risk describes how the order of gains and losses affects outcomes. Large losses early in retirement can permanently reduce the amount you can safely withdraw. Two portfolios with the same average return can result in very different ending balances, solely because of the order in which returns occurred. Adding bonds and other diversifiers can smooth volatility and reduce the chance that early losses cause lasting damage. This flowchart illustrates the path from logging into your brokerage to confirming an exchange from your existing equity fund into a target date fund. The brokerage executes an internal sale and uses the proceeds to purchase the TDF within the same account. Because the transaction occurs inside a tax-advantaged wrapper, such as an IRA or 401k, it does not generate taxes or penalties. Only distributions from the account may be taxable or penalized, depending on your situation and local rules. Let's walk through the exchange process. First, log into your brokerage. Next, choose the correct tax-advantaged account, such as a Roth IRA. Then, find the exchange or convert option, which might be listed under trade mutual funds. After that, select the existing equity fund as the source, and choose the target date fund, identified by a retirement year, as the destination. Enter the amount to move, either in dollars or as a percentage. Review expense ratios and any timing details such as trade cutoffs. Finally, confirm the exchange and verify that your holdings show the new target date fund. Let's debunk a common myth. In the United States, when you exchange one fund for another inside a tax-advantaged account, such as a Roth IRA, traditional IRA, or 401k, the exchange does not create a tax or penalty. This action is an internal exchange or conversion, not a distribution. Only distributions may be taxable or penalized. However, plan or fund level fees may still apply, such as short-term redemption fees. Quiz time. What are the tax consequences of exchanging a fund for a target date fund inside a Roth IRA? Option A. Ordinary income tax applies immediately. Option B. Capital gains tax applies if your old fund had gains. Option C. No taxes or penalties. It is an internal exchange. Option D. A 10% early withdrawal penalty applies. You may pause the video now to think about the answer. We will discuss the answer in the next section of the video. The correct answer is C. Inside a tax-advantaged account, exchanges do not create taxes or penalties. Only distributions may be taxable or penalized depending on your situation. Let's compare target date funds and do-it-yourself rebalancing. With a target date fund, you get an automatically adjusting stock and bond mix, simplicity, professional glide path design, fewer behavioral errors due to a single holding, and automatic rebalancing that keeps risk on target. With a DIY approach, you can customize asset classes and tilts, but it requires regular rebalancing and monitoring, can involve multiple holdings that drift without attention, and may increase the risk of timing or emotional mistakes. This timeline shows a typical glide path where equity exposure declines as retirement nears. For example, a fund might start near 90% stocks at age 25 and gradually move toward 40% stocks by age 65. Auto-rebalancing and equity drawdown are built-in features that keep the risk profile aligned with the investor's stage of life. Before proceeding, Consider costs and practical details. Expense ratios vary, though broad market index-based target date funds are often low cost. Some funds impose short-term redemption fees if you held them only briefly. Mutual fund exchanges typically execute once per day at net asset value. Employer-sponsored plans may enforce blackout periods or specific rules. Settlement is typically internal, so you do not need to manage cash. Since rules can vary by country and plan, verify your account's specific terms. Here are example allocations often seen in glide paths. At age 30, a fund may hold around 90% stocks and 10% bonds. By age 40, this might shift to 80% stocks and 20% bonds. In the 50s, it often moves towards 65 to 70% stocks and 30 to 35% bonds. By age 60, a typical range might be 50 to 60% stocks with 40 to 50% bonds. In the 70s, allocations can center around 30 to 45% stocks and 55 to 70% bonds. These are examples and not recommendations. Here is a quick reference in markdown style. The key idea is that de-risking protects withdrawals when sequence risk is high. The three-part process is to pick an age-appropriate target date fund, exchange within the same account, and verify costs and plan rules. Finally, check your understanding of sequence risk, confirm that exchanges are tax-free in U.S. tax-advantaged accounts, and then keep it simple with a set-it-and-forget-it approach. Second quiz. If you are 100% in a total stock market fund inside a Roth IRA and want to reduce risk, which action fits a simple, hands-off approach? Option A. Open a taxable account and move funds there. Option B. Exchange to an age-appropriate target date fund within the same account. Option C. Add a separate bond fund but stop rebalancing. Option D. Sell everything and hold cash indefinitely. You may pause the video now to think about the answer. Advancing. We will discuss the answer in the next section of the video. The correct answer is B. Exchanging to an age-appropriate target date fund within the same account provides diversification and an auto-adjusting glide path, which supports a simple, hands-off approach. Here are the key takeaways. De-risking as retirement nears can protect lifetime withdrawals. In the United States, exchanges inside tax-advantaged accounts are not taxable events. Target date funds automate diversification, rebalancing, and equity drawdown. A simple exchange within the same account avoids complex rollovers and manual tracking. Always verify costs, plan rules, and country-specific nuances before placing trades. To summarize, recognize sequence of returns risk and reduce it through diversification. Use your brokerage's internal exchange to move into a target date fund. Do not let tax fears stop you, because exchanges are protected within the account wrapper. Keep your approach simple, low cost, and disciplined to support long-term success. This video is for educational purposes only and is not financial, tax, or legal advice. Rules and availability vary by country, plan, and provider. Review your plan documents and consult a qualified professional before taking action. Thanks for watching. If this video helped, please like it, share it with a friend who is planning for retirement, and subscribe for more guides. Finally, tell us your questions and your glide path experiences in the comments.